It started with a wall, a big, ugly cinder block wall right across the east side of my ranch, the side that connected to the main road. Now, mind you, this was not a small fence dispute or a misplaced sign. This was a 10-foot tall wall, freshly built overnight by the HOA, complete with barbed wire and a smug little private property sign right in the middle. I had been in town for 2 full days on business. I was reviewing cases at the local county courthouse. Most folks around here knew me as Judge Sterling. Glenda, however, just called me that stubborn ranch guy who does not follow any HOA rules at all. When I pulled up to my ranch and saw that ugly wall, my first thought was, well, this is going to be fun. Glenda herself appeared, clipboard in hand, wearing her signature dark sunglasses like a villain. "Morning," she chirped. "We decided to take some initiative since you refused to follow our boundary guidelines." I stared at the wall in utter disbelief. "You built this directly on my access road." "That's trespassing," I added. She smirked. "Actually, the board determined that this land belongs to the community buffer zone. You'll have to submit a variance request if you'd like it moved at all." I smiled slowly, the kind of smile that makes people very nervous. "Glenda, are you aware that this road predates your HOA by 47 years? "That's irrelevant," she said, flipping through her legal paperwork. "Our bylaws override everything." I cut her off instantly. "Your bylaws don't override deeds, titles, or state property law. You just built a structure across a legally registered easement on my land." Glenda blinked, clearly confused. "An easement? That's right," I said. "And since I'm one of the judges for the county, I wrote the legal memo about it last year." Her smug smile vanished in a single second. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten her. Kaya just took out my phone, snapped pictures of the wall, her HOA badge, and the crew unloading bricks. Then I made one quick call to the county zoning commission. By the next morning, the HOA office was buzzing like a hornet's nest. Inspectors showed up with legal documents, measuring equipment, and demolition orders. Glenda was there too, arguing aggressively. She tried to claim that the judge himself cannot file complaints against citizens. That's when the lead inspector looked at her and said, "Ma'am, you built an unpermitted structure on judicial property. You're lucky this isn't a criminal matter yet." She turned beet red. "Judicial property? What are you talking about? It's his ranch." The inspector handed her an official county document immediately. Per County Ordinance 12-47, Judge Sterling's property is under the state's protective zoning for agricultural and public use access. You just interfered with a route used by local emergency services. Glenda's mouth opened, but no sound came out. 2 hours later, bulldozers rolled in. The HOA wall was flattened in 20 minutes flat. Dust cloud, debris, the works. Glenda screamed about filing big appeals, but it didn't matter at all. The damage was done, and I wasn't done yet. A week later, I presided over a case titled Sterling v. Oak Ridge, HOA. Glenda didn't realize I recused myself from ruling on it. I recused myself from ruling, but not from filing. The evidence was clear: unauthorized construction, boundary violation, and misuse of HOA funds. The HOA's own lawyer looked ready to melt into his chair. When the final ruling came down, the HOA was ordered to compensate the property owner for all damages, legal fees, and full restoration costs. The total compensation value came out to exactly $187,000. When I walked out of the courthouse, Glenda was waiting, absolutely furious. "You can't do this. You are abusing your position." I leaned in just enough for her to hear me clearly in the hallway. "Glenda, I didn't abuse my position. I used the law, the exact same law you ignored." She sputtered, "You think you've won?" I tipped my hat. "No, ma'am, the law won. I just live on its winning side." That night, I drove home to my ranch, my open driveway, my unblocked road, and a mailbox filled with letters from grateful neighbors bullied by that HOA. The next board meeting was canceled indefinitely. Glenda resigned soon after, citing severe stress and unfair treatment. I call that poetic justice. And every time I drive past where that wall once stood, I smile, knowing the law always prevails.